Hello travelers, hello from Barcelona. If your dream is to come and live in Spain, well guys, wait till you hear the numbers to see if you can afford this city. Let's go. Minimum salary in Spain, 1,323 euros per month, 12 payments. So, this is very important. If you want to come and live in Spain and you need to look for a job in Spain, these are the numbers. Now, if you already work for another company in the world and you work remotely, check my other video for the digital nomad visa. This could be actually better if you can get a better salary, you will pay less taxes and you will be able to stay in the city for many years. Check it out. Monthly rate, how much you have to pay if you want to rent a flat in Barcelona? Well guys, here we have a problem. Check my video rental prices in 2024 because we're going through a very hard situation in Barcelona. I couldn't find any flat in the long term, which is 5 years. I could only find flats in the short term, which is 31 days till 11 months. So how to tell you how much money you're going to spend if you want to rent a flat in Barcelona? Well guys, I don't know, because there is this new housing law in which benefits the tenant, not the owner, which is great for you if you want to rent a flat in the city. But because there is a limitation on prices in stressed areas, which is basically whole Barcelona, in 2024 the rental updates will be limited to a maximum of 3%. Which is not exactly the same percent of real inflation that we are having in Spain, so it doesn't make sense. And what happened? Well, the owners decided to stop renting the flats in the long term and they switched to short term, because in this way they could only rent it for 11 months and then they can stop the contract and update it, or rent to a new person and charge more, or whatever. So yeah, so now we don't have long-term flats in Barcelona. So check my other video how to do it. So guys, let's suppose that you find a long-term flat. Actually, I'm gonna send you 2 links from FOTOCASA and from IDEALISTA in which you can see how much money you should pay if you want to rent a flat in a specific neighborhood. So, for instance, for example, which is my favorite neighborhood, and you have here a video about this neighborhood. This is amazing, very close to major attractions, perfect to live, etc. So in this neighborhood you have to pay 23 euros more or less per square meter. So this means that if you are renting a flat of 60 square meters with 2 rooms, you're gonna pay more or less 1,500. Let's see what you can find. And keep in mind that the short-term flats are furnished and the others not. So if you find a long-term flat, you're gonna have to furnish it. And the 2 places where we locals go in low budget are IKEA and Leroy Merlin. So back in 2013 I spent 2,000 euros to furnish my house, 50 square meters. So today I would say maybe 2,500, 3,000 to furnish the house. If you're single, then you can rent a room in a shared house. In that way you're gonna pay from 500 euros per month. This is something that you can do, okay? And nowadays you can find a room in the city. So guys, utilities, those are the services where we pay per month for water, for gas, for electricity, for internet, for data for my phone, and then, in case you need it, the cleaning hour fee, the babysitting fee per hour in case you're a family, and the co-working spaces if you are an entrepreneur or if you work on your own and you don't want to be in the house, and then transport. Keep in mind that single ride in Barcelona in public transport is 2.55 euros. But if you buy a transport car with more trips, it gets cheaper. So if you want to know which metro car to buy, which transport car to buy actually in Barcelona, check my video here with all the information. If you live in the city, you can buy the T Casual, which is 10 trips, which is 12.15 euros, or you can buy the T Usual, which is 21.35 euros, yes. And with that card you can travel unlimited for 30 days. So that is the price more or less. If you want to take a taxi from the applications, these are the applications that we use in Barcelona, the minimum fare is 7 euros. If you have a car, you're gonna spend 1.74 euros the liter, and the single ride to the airport is 5 euros and 50 cents, but if you want to take a taxi, it would be more or less in between 35 to 45 euros. If you have a car and you need parking, there are no paid parkings in the city, so you're gonna need to rent one, and per month it could be like around 150 euros. And if you need parking for 24 hours in the city center of Barcelona, more or less in between 25-35 euros. And then if you're a resident in the city, you can buy your Bici Pass, which is a 1-year pass in which you can take your bike, your regular bike or your electric bike, for 50 euros per year. And then health. If you work in Spain, you have access to public health, which works really good. If not, you're gonna need a private health insurance. I live in Barcelona, and I don't have a private health insurance because the public works amazing, but well, up to you. And the price is more or less 50 euros, let's say. I'm going to recommend you 3 banks, banks with zero cost. Those are all the banks. And keep in mind that if you use an ATM, it's gonna cost you 2 euros, 3 euros more or less per transaction if you don't have the card from the bank in which you are doing the transaction. Let's talk about food. We have the restaurants and we have the price for the supermarket. If you want to have lunch in Barcelona, the menu starts from 16 euros more or less, and if you want to have lunch or dinner but not menu, prices starts from 25 euros more or less. But if you want to have paella, it is a little bit more expensive, from 35 euros. And then I'm gonna leave you the price for the water, for the coffee, for the beer, for the wine, for the cocktails. And now I'm going to leave you the prices for the supermarket. It varies depending on which supermarket you go, because we have the cheap ones and we have the expensive ones, so let's say a mix in between them. And for 2-3 people, we are a family of 3, so more or less for us, for 2 and the baby, we spend 500 euros per month. If you want to buy clothes in Barcelona, you have a video here where to shop in the city. This is a basic guide for first-timers or expats that have just arrived to the city. You have the hotspots where we locals go, and then we have the luxury stores, the low-cost stores, we have the outlets, the vintage shops, the markets, everything. So I'm not going to talk about clothes because of course it depends on the clothes that you buy, but check the videos. If you are a family, you have to keep in mind the daycare prices and the schools. Daycares, we have public ones in which you only pay for the food, which will be around 150-200 euros, but you need to be aware of the registration day, and fingers crossed if you find the spot in your neighborhood. So if not, you have to pay the private daycare, which is more or less 500. I'm paying for Emma 475 euros. And the schools as well. We have the public ones in which you only pay for the food, 150 euros, 200 euros. And then we have the concertadas, which is half public and half private, which is in between 250 euros to even 600 euros. And then the private schools and the international schools, which starts from around 850 euros more or less. If you go to the gym is more or less 50 euros per month. So having said all that, these are all the prices, and let's see how much money you need. And keep in mind that in Madrid it is even a little bit more expensive. So guys, minimum salary 1,323 euros. So I'm going to tell you how much money you need to earn in order to be able to afford Barcelona, to see how much money would be a good salary in the city. If it's better for you to work remotely for somewhere else in the world, or if you can look for a job in Spain. So, monthly rate, well, let's say whatever I pay, which is 1,500, then we have the food 500 euros. Then we have utilities per month, 200 euros. Transport, imagine 2 people buying the T usual, which is more or less 40 euros per month. Or the bicing, which is 50 euros per person per year. Then if you want to go to a restaurant, or if you want to have a haircut, or if you want to buy clothes, whatever, more or less, we spend like 300 euros per couple per month in that kind of expenses. And then for the gym, 100 euros for the two of us. So I'm not mentioning any subscription, I'm not mentioning daycare, school, car expenses, anything about that, because in Barcelona city center you don't need a car, and I'm not even mentioning holidays, okay? So you're gonna need more or less 2,600, 2,700. We are a family of 2 plus a baby. So now you know how much money you need to earn if you want to live in Barcelona, either for a couple or for a single person. And guys, if you're working remotely for somewhere else in the world, also you know how much money you're gonna need to live in Barcelona. So hope you have enjoyed it, guys. Check my video rental prices because that is very important, and stay tuned because a new video is coming out for first-timers in the city. I mean, people who's moving to Barcelona, all the things they have to do when you are new in the city, how to set up, where do I start, what are all the things that I have to do. And see you on Instagram and TikTok for daily tips in Barcelona. See you next week, travelers. Bye bye.